Senators, on tab 4, we have SB for 1178, Condominium and Cooperative Associations. By Senator Bradley, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I know we have spent a lot of time over the last several years following the tragic Surfside collapse, enacting laws to protect Floridians living in condos through the state through inspection processes and reserve requirements to make sure they're in good financial health. This bill is the next necessary step in that process. It's one that's been needed for many years. We have grand jury reports, House Select Committee reports going back more than a decade. We had a great panel in this committee that was illuminating in both the scope and the depth of some of the concerns that are happening in associations. I have traveled the state listening to owners recount their desperate attempts to try to navigate their associations. So this bill is a comprehensive update on Chapter 718 and 719, and it does the following. It creates disclosure requirements for conflicts of interest for management firms, enhances access to records by requiring all associations with 25 units or more to maintain a website on which there are official records. The current threshold is 150. It creates criminal penalties for repeated and willful violations related to the inspection of records, penalties for refusing to provide records in order to escape criminal prosecution, penalties for board members who solicit or accept kickbacks, and for committing fraudulent voting activity. It creates safeguards for associations who invest their reserves, a practice that is currently allowed but for which there are no guardrails. It requires that associations meet at least quarterly and provide copies of all the contracts under consideration to be a part of the meeting notice. It requires that existing and future board members in the state satisfy education requirements. Currently, members merely state and check a box that they've read the bylaws. This requires that they satisfy an education curriculum as well as annual updates so they can better fulfill their fiduciary obligations. It allows boards to secure a line of credit to fund repairs required by the milestone or to meet the reserve funding schedule recommended by the CSRS. It clarifies the obligations of the association and owners regarding hurricane protection. It revises SLAPP suit prohibitions and provides that association funds cannot be used to support defamation and libel actions against owners. And lastly, and very importantly, it expands the jurisdiction of DBPR to enforce obligations of the chapter and requires the department to refer cases to law enforcement when they believe fraud, theft, or embezzlement is occurring. And that is the bill.
Before we take up the amendments, are there questions on the bill? We do have a late file delete everything amendment by Senator Bradley. Is there objection to taking up the late file amendment? Seeing none. Senator Bradley, you are recognized unless that's what you were explaining.
I in fact just explained the late file strike.
The late file is explained. Are there questions on the delete everything late file amendment? Seeing none. We do have two amendments to the amendment that are filed timely. The first one, we will take up amendment to the amendment barcode 842988 by Senator Bradley. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a technical fix to align two periods of time in the bill so that they both are 90 days, which was the intent.
Questions on the amendment to the amendment? I don't have any appearance forms for the amendment to the amendment. You have to fill out a form, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you want to speak on the bill as amended? Okay. We're on the first amendment to the amendment, so I'm assuming you don't have questions on the technical.
Yeah, I do have one question. I also wanted to say something.
Well, you can't, excuse me. Did you fill out a card?
Yes, I did.
On the amendment to the amendment?
No, I filled out the one. It's just for the main bill.
Okay. We'll come back to you. We won't forget you.
I'm sorry.
Having no appearance forms on the amendment to the amendment, is there debate? First of all, does anyone want to speak on the amendment to the amendment, the technical fix? Seeing none. Is there debate on the amendment to the amendment? Is there objection to the adoption of the amendment to the amendment number 1? Seeing no objection, let's show that amendment barcode 842988 is adopted. There is a second amendment to the amendment That is barcode 582326 by Senator Osgood. Senator Osgood, you are recognized to explain amendment to the amendment.
Thank you. Currently, association members are allowed to vote electronically. However, they have to opt in with a written letter. Very simply, this amendment will allow members to opt into electronic voting by electronic means. This will apply to both condo association members and co-op members. That is the amendment, Mr. Chair.
Are there questions of the amendment to the amendment number 2 sponsor? I don't think there's any appearance forms for the second amendment to the amendment. Senator Bradley, you're recognized on the amendment to the amendment, barcode 842988.
It is a very friendly and good amendment.
Except I said the wrong amendment barcode,
Right.
582326.
Good amendment.
Good amendment, friendly amendment.
Good friendly amendment.
Senator Oz, is there debate? Without objection, is there objection to the adoption of the amendment to the amendment 582326? Seeing none. Show that amendment to the amendment is adopted.
Thank
Now we're back on the bill. We're back on the amendment as twice amended. Why you file these things?
Gotta get it first, right?
Are there any questions on the amendment as twice amended? Do I have appearance cards? I do. Mark Anderson from Community Association Managers is waving in support. Anyone else want to speak on the amendment? Seeing none. We'll get back on the bill in just a minute. We're on. Do we have a card for this? What's your name, sir?
Jonathan Gonzalez. The only reason I asked that.
You can't testify from over there. If you're going to testify, do it, and then you have to fill out a card. Please identify yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Gonzalez. So I guess my question to that amendment was, I'm from the community Ramblewood east of Coral Springs, and we are going to have our voting session on the 12th of February. However, we've been doing it by paper ballots. Obviously, this bill probably won't pass until July. So where does that leave us standing?
I'm assuming this bill would not take effect until July 1. Anyway, this bill would not take effect till July 1, 2024.
Right. So how would, would the current law be affected?
Yes.
It's going to be so they could still do the paper ballots as of now?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair. Electronic voting is currently allowed. The only thing this amendment changed was the way an owner could elect to vote electronically, could vote to elect and take advantage of online voting. It doesn't create online voting. That already exists. It just changed the way an owner would opt into that particular type of voting. But the law, any of the changes we make here today would not be effective immediately. It would be.
Oh, I do also want to thank you for all the hard work that you have contributed. I'm here on behalf of you, and I do support you 100%. I just had a few questions. I'm sorry if I was being selfish, but, I've traveled all the way here from Broward County to, get a direct response.
Never selfish to come and advocate in the Capitol. And if you leave your information, I'm happy to sit down with you after the meeting or take a call so we can talk about any of the specific issues that you have.
Okay. So would I have to wait to speak on what else I was actually going to bring up?
No, we have a procedure with cards so we can keep track of who's speaking on what issue. So I think the sergeant will help you get your card filled out to be recognized by the chair.
All right. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank
I
you,
apologize for me not knowing. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, I came from the same neighborhood where he came from.
So, all right, okay, we're,
But the election,
but,
changing
but,
of the election.
but, sir, if you want to speak, we'll allow you to speak. Right now, Senator Osgood has a question, or
I wanted to make a comment since this
You're
is my constituent. I just want to reiterate what Senator Bradley said. If condo association members want to vote electronically, they can do that right now by simply sending in a letter and opting in to do that. I just want to make sure that he had the clear information that if he chooses to vote electronically, he's able to. And thank you for traveling from Broward County.
Okay, we don't have any more appearance cards on the amendment as amended. Yes, sir.
I guess I'm still going to call that because I do have another part.
We're going to come back to the bill.
Thank you so much.
Is there debate on the amendment as amended? Seeing none, Senator Bradley, you're recognized to close on the amendment as amended.
Waive close.
Waiving close. Any objection to the adoption of the amendment as amended? Let's show that amendment as amended is adopted. Now we're back on the bill as amended. Are there questions? Seeing none. Are there appearance forms on the bill as amended? This looks like, is it Nissim? That's you? You wish to speak against. You are recognized, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And could you, is that your first name or your last name?
My first name Nissim
What is your last name? Just for the record, sir.
Hassan, H-A-S-S-A-N.
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 Thank you, sir. You are recognized.
Yeah.
You're
Good talk.
recognized.
Okay, I live in Rainbow Road East for 33 years, and lately, the last 12 years, we have a lawyer with a board person. They have control on the election. Actually, they forced themselves on us, and they took all our rights. Like, for example, we used to have like 4 board meeting, candidate meetings. They cancel everything. They don't want nobody to speak, and the ballot used to go to the clubhouse. Now all the ballot going to the lawyer, and the president of the community, he said the only people that are going to be the board, the people I choose, the people I want. So basically, he forced himself on us. He took our freedom and told us you have to do something about this. Where he lived, the same person, I live in Rainbow Road East, the same person, the board person live in Pompano Beach. Over there with the same lawyer, he's changing the ballot for 24 years. And by me, where I live, for 12 years. So actually, to be on the board for these people is a business. They're spending them. He's spending millions of dollars. He's spending millions of dollars with a lawyer. We used to spend, for example, $63,000 for board lawyer usually before they came. Now we spend over $500,000 with the board lawyer, and we owe to Coral Spring City $4 million. He opened real estate company with our maintenance money. We have over 200 units. The income is $2.5 million. Nobody knows the money. And on top of this, we owe to Coral Spring City $4 million. So these people need to be stopped. Tallahassee have to do some things to protect us, because where I live, people live from paycheck to paycheck. They are not educated, and they're taking advantage of this. This is the problem. You know, they don't have the money, they don't have the knowledge how to protect themselves, and they take advantage of this. And Tallahassee have to do something about this. That's it.
Nope.
By the way, I forgot to tell you, I started the process in the courthouse. I opened a case in the courthouse and to protect the election process, and I have hearing next month, actually. Just generally speaking, I try to get help from the courthouse to protect the election process.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan. We have your comments on record. They were being recorded, so you are on record with your comments, and thank you for traveling and being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can go home. That's it.
That's it.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir. Next is Shaney Jones from AARP Florida, who is waiving in support. After that, we have Trey Goldman from Florida Realtors, who is waiving in support. And my last card, I know you're coming back to you, sir, is Jonathan Joseph Gonzalez. Doesn't say who they represent, speaking or seeking information. Mr. Gonzalez. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
You-
So I do want to say that
Your handwriting is terrific, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
you for acknowledging
recognized.
that. Thank you so much for appreciating that. I don't normally get that comment, but thank you. I do want to say I'm actually in favor of Bradley's bill, and also my one of my members here. I think he meant to say that he was in favor as well. So he just happened to get a little bit older. So I do want to say ensuring strict adherence to all the codes is very crucial to prevent penalization, which could otherwise result being tethered to liens, as some of what Nassim was saying, the depreciation of property value, and the imposition of unfavorable conditions. Speaking openly about these concerns could even lead to severe consequences, such as police arrest and the acquisition of a criminal report, jeopardizing one's employment. The absence of board meetings hampers the exchange of ideas among homeowners, contributing to current challenges. So we do appreciate you acknowledging us for that. But one of the questions that I do pose is I would like to know how you would plan to enforce all of these new laws. All we hear from local authorities, like the economic crime units of the different police departments, and from state attorney's office, such as State Attorney Kathy Randall, is that they need the manpower to enforce all these laws and money to hire new people to enforce these laws. So, like, how do we get to that point? I'm sorry, am I not being clear? State Attorney Kathy. Yeah. She actually did she was responsible for putting the RICO on the president of the association, who was I think they were getting about 20 million that were coming in, about 20 million annually, and they were taking about 19 of it. So she was actually responsible for actually doing that case. Her problem was that she has a lack of resources from Tallahassee, and I'm not up here. I don't know exactly what's what, but from what she needs, from what she's saying is just, I guess, a little bit support or more manpower. So how do we put that manpower into effect?
Yeah, I think Senator Bradley may have suggested that you two have a chat post-meeting.
Okay.
And maybe we can get a solution to that issue underway as well.
Okay.
Hey, you traveled a long ways to be here. We thank you for that, because it's no easy task to get here, and we appreciate your input, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. I apologize for taking your time.
No. That's why we're here. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on the bill as amended? Senator Bradley, you're recognized. We're in debate. There is no debate. You're still recognized to close.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Hassan, who traveled all the way to be here. I can tell you that the intent of the bill and the work that we've done to try to get to this point is to address those instances and those situations that you brought up. Failure to hold meetings. The bill's going to require to have quarterly meetings that go through the state of construction projects, the state of the budget, to make sure that owners have that information. It requires transparency, a greater access to records. It provides criminal penalties for election fraud, and all of those things, because it's happening. There are examples where there was an association that had more members vote in an election than live there. There is fraud occurring, but our state attorneys and our law enforcement need a clear avenue to address those. This bill does that. And we're going to continue to work on it and continue to make sure it's the best product, because there's millions of Floridians living in condos, and we need to make sure they have the tools to navigate their associations and make sure it's fair and transparent. So thank you for being here, and I'd appreciate your support.
Susan, please call the roll on CS for SB 1178.
Senator Bradley?
Yes.
Senator Broder?
Yes.
Senator Hudson? Senator Jones? Yes. Senator Osgood? Yes. Vice Chair Hooper?
Yes.
Chair Gruters?
By your vote, show CS for SB 1178 reported favorably. Thank you, Senator Bradley.